Chapter 51. We want to come along. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Outrageous, how dare you get close to my future fiancé? Wang Min yelled in an enraged tone, as veins popped on his forehead. Why do I need your permission before doing anything? It seems you must be asking your mama about everything before doing something, but why do you think everyone will be like you, a mama boy? Yu Yan asked, his voice was flowing with mockery and amusement. Binger, who was standing beside them, giggled as she found it hilarious. Even Linger was trying to control her laughter. Ah, you! He shouted at him as he wanted to thrash him, but then remembered Yu Yan was the crimson-haired beauty's boyfriend, so he couldn't do anything to him. Their parents were friends, but as far as he knew, Shangguan Linger wouldn't be forced to marry him if she already had a boyfriend who she wanted to be with. The crimson-haired beauty also struggled to find a lover in the past, but now she had someone who she could use to get away from this stupid young master of the Wang clan. When she saw the boy was enraged, Linger stepped in and said in a chilly voice, "You cannot talk to my Yu Yan that way, eh?" Wang Min flinched at her involvement as he realized he would have to go through the girl to teach a lesson to her boyfriend. He clenched his teeth and said, "I will meet you at the Silver Moon Village." Saying that, the boy left with a furious expression and rushed pace. Linger soon separated herself from her darling and spoke, "Thankfully, he has gone." Yu Yan gazed at her and asked, "How long are you going to pretend?" The crimson-haired beauty gave him a forced smile and said, "Just help me until he gives up on me, or I break through to the king's spirit rank and join the inner court to have the academy's protection. Then I won't have to marry him even if my parents want." "And why do you think I will help you, Missy?" Yu Yan put his index finger on his nose and tapped it as if he couldn't understand her, but it was just his act, as in his heart he was delighted by the unexpected development. "I can pay you for this. What do you want?" Shangguan Linger spoke in a proud tone as she thought she could give him enough wealth to hire him as a boyfriend. Normally people would have volunteered to be her fake boyfriend, but she didn't want them as they would have been crushing for her, but this boy was different as they repelled from each other like mortal enemies of the previous life. "I want her to accept me as her friend." Yu Yan looked towards his Binger and spoke with a relaxed expression. "I thought you would ask something unreasonable. It's good enough that you want to be her friend. So don't worry, I allow you." Linger said as if she was her mother giving permission to the boy to chase her daughter. "But sister, that I don't want," Binger spoke and expressed her disapproval. Linger looked at her, turning her back towards the boy, and whispered into her sister's ear, "It's just being a normal friend. That guy didn't ask you to marry him or something. It's not that bad if you think carefully. Moreover, you also need to make new friends. Binger, you have to understand I won't be able to stay by your side forever. One day I will marry someone and make a family with him. But that I don't like him," the white-haired beauty said it on his face as she didn't keep her voice quieter like her sister. "You don't have to hurt my feelings by saying it loudly. Even if I'm a bad person, I also have a heart that can feel bad because of your hurtful words." Yu Yan's voice was flickering with sadness as he spoke. He turned around and walked away without looking back. "Oh no, what have you done, Binger?" He sounded very mad. "That boy won't help me now. We lost our good fish." Linger cried out in complaint as she turned around and left with a downcast face. Binger watched Yu Yan's lonely figure disappearing into the distance as her heart pained. Stake of tears rolled down her cheeks as she mumbled, "Why am I crying?" The white-haired beauty couldn't understand as she kept looking in his direction even after he disappeared. "Sorry, Binger. This is the only way to awaken your hidden emotions. If you don't feel the thirst of longing in your heart, you won't understand that you are mine." The boy walked towards the inner court as he entered through the doorway wearing his mask. At the fourth cottage where all his beautiful women and the boy were living, he told them about his plans when they were sitting all together in the big hall on the couches. "Hey, I also want to come along." Sang Shui showed her desire as she was sitting beside the pink-haired beauty. "Me too," Yuna hurriedly said as well. Can I also join?" Shuai also asked in a quiet tone as she was still acting nervous around them and was sitting beside the boy. And what I will tell them? I have 3 beautiful girlfriends while I'm chasing your innocent sister to make her 4th. Yu Yan asked, staring at both of the beauties in front of him. He also gave a gaze to the girl beside him, but she looked adorable when she was silent. Shuai had been informed about his story with Shengwan Binge recently along with Yuna by Tsang Shui, so they knew how important she was to their man. Although they didn't like sharing their man with another girl, but they were not his first wife, and the blonde-haired beauty loved him enough to let him make a harem. She also knew restricting someone in prison wouldn't give you their love. She believed in giving freedom and loving him with her whole heart. After all, she knew he loves her most even if he bring another woman. Their past allowed them to connect at a deeper level that the boy wouldn't able to make with another partner. Moreover, their bonding was unbreakable after the yin-yen cultivation, which brought them even closer. Can't you at least bring one of us? Yuna asked. Not if the rule doesn't allow it. The boy said. But I'm the rule. The pink-haired beauty shouted. You can't interfere in mortals' affairs, you forgot. The boy said as he heard this information from Shuai in the past. Yeah, but no one can stop me if I want to save you. Your affairs aren't mortal for me. So let me go. She insisted to join. Husband, you need to bring me too, that we would follow you from distance and won't disturb you. Tsang Shui said in a calm voice. Ah, nope, that you guys aren't coming, that just stay here, that I will be back. Yu Yan didn't agree and turned them down. They ate their dinner and helped Yu Yan pack his necessary things as he stored them in his system inventory. When the boy was sleeping in his room, the girls were whispering to each other in the big hall. They were fabricating their own plan to follow him on the journey to Silver Moon Village. Won't he get mad, Sister Shuai? Shuai asked with worry as her nervousness was lowering with their mischievous plan to stalk their boy. What can he do even if he gets mad? Yuna asked as she didn't fear the boy. You already know what he can do if he gets mad, but I don't think he will do it again. So don't worry about him getting angry at us. We just need to make sure we don't come in front of those 2 and act like strangers. We can even disguise ourselves if required. Tsang Shui said as she was the leader of the family. The next day, when it was dark in the early morning, Yu Yan woke up. He went to the hall. After freshening up, he found the blonde-haired beauty was placing the plate on the table. Eat before you leave. She told him and beckoned him to come. You shouldn't have woken up this early just to cook for me, he said with concern, as he didn't like her ruining her sleep just for him. But his heart was enveloped in warm feelings as the girl had just gotten up early so he could eat hot cooked food before leaving for his journey with the Shengwan sisters. The boy didn't know that she didn't sleep at all as she was preparing for their journey and decided to cook enough food to keep them in spatial storage. ======================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================== friends in the spirit world, in a week or two as that name would suit it better. Underscore 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 underscore. Please vote with power stones and golden tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Edited by The White Snow. Chapter 52 Meng's siblings. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You shouldn't have woken up this early just to cook for me, he said with concern, as he didn't like her ruining her sleep just for him. But his heart was enveloped in warm feelings, as the girl had just gotten up early so he could eat hot cooked food before leaving for his journey with the Shangguan sisters. The boy didn't know that she hadn't slept at all in the night as she was preparing for their journey and decided to cook enough food to keep them in spatial storage. You don't have to tell me what I have to do and what not, the girl said in a cold voice, as she showed her dissatisfaction towards him. Are you mad at me that I'm not bringing you with me? Yu Yan asked. He found her adorable as she was grumbling about this. Yeah. The blonde-haired beauty spoke with puffed cheeks as she was really upset he didn't agree, although they had made a backup plan to this to follow him secretly. Okay, you guys can come but stay at a safe distance. He agreed as he knew with Yuna's presence they wouldn't have to worry about hiding their location from some students of the outer court. That girl could literally make the headmaster dance on her palm if she desired, as Yuna was the true founder of this academy and the great saintess. Sang Shui threw herself at him and coiled her hands around his body, pecking his lips. She said, "I love you." Soon, he felt one more person hugging him from the left side as he realized Yuna was embracing him. "We love you too." He saw Shuiro was standing nearby as well, but she wasn't hugging him as she looked nervous and didn't know how to join in among these two beauties to embrace him. Yu Yan moved his right hand to pull her in a hug as he embraced her. The boy was embracing his three beautiful women who wanted to accompany him to the Silver Moon Village. All three of them were worried about him as they knew he wasn't at his prime when he could solo the whole world single-handedly. "I sometimes feel I don't have 3 lovers but 3 mothers. They act too caring towards me." Yu Yan sighed inwardly as he patted their back to ask them to separate. They sat together to eat their breakfast as the girls told him about their secret plans. Normally they would send senior students to keep an eye on the class of the second year on this special task, so I put our names for those spots. "But we are extras, so we don't have to really observe anyone," Yuna said as she had solved the problem already. That's better." He responded to her and ruffled her silky pink hair as she was sitting beside him on the same couch. The 3 goddesses and their man finished the morning meals and prepared to leave. Yu Yan took the lead and left them as it was already more than 5 in the morning. The boy was late from the appointed time as he was busy with his beautiful girlfriends. He walked ahead of the training ground in the outer court to reach the Tian High Academy's gate. The boy could see 2 figures waiting there with small girlish bags on their back. The red-haired beauty had her face scrunched as she was grumbling to her adorable sister. "That guy made us wait for so long. What does he think he is? If I didn't have to ask him to pretend to be my boyfriend, I surely punch him when he comes," she said to the white-haired beauty who had a calm face and was watching her sister cursing the boy. "Hey! Why did you guys arrive so early?" he asked shamelessly as he approached them. "We didn't come early, but you came late. Don't you know it's rude to make a lady wait?" Shangguan Linger asked with an annoyed tone that flickered in her voice. "Yeah, but are you a lady?" he asked, putting one hand on his jaw and inspecting her from head to toe. "You." She clenched her fists as she was rushing towards him to attack, but 2 slender hands wrapped around her tummy. "Sister. Don't be mad." Binger held her from the back as the crimson-haired beauty was throwing both her punches in the air. "Let me go, Binger. I want to beat this boy today. He is making me so angry." She was fuming with rage but was held by her own sister. "Calm down. He is in our team." Binger tried to convince her, but it was of no use. Soon, they saw a familiar figure coming in their direction with another 2 girls and a boy. Linger's facial expression changed as she saw Wang Min coming in their direction. She stopped throwing her punches and calmed herself down. "What happened, Linger?" the long-haired boy asked her as he stopped in front of their group. "Nothing. I was just doing morning warm-up before leaving. It's good for our health," she spoke as she moved to wrap her hands around Yu Yan's one. He gave her a questioning look as if asking, "Are you a chameleon or what that changes her color so much?" She desired to punch him a while ago, but now acting so lovey-dovey with him just because she wanted to hide from that young master of the Wang clan. "Me and my friends going for Silver Moon Village right now. Do you guys want to join?" he asked with a friendly smile. "No, we have something important to do first, then we will go." The crimson-haired beauty declined his offer. The other 3 approached them and stood nearby as they found the boy familiar who was near the Shangguan sisters. Yu Yan's eyes narrowed as he looked at the 3 who approached them. "Isn't this my younger brother Meng Long who has been kicked away from the clan?" The brown-haired boy said with a hint of mockery in his tone. He was 176 centimeters in height and had stylish ear-length hair. He wasn't as handsome as Yu Yan, but he wasn't bad either. There was a girl beside him who had waist-length brown hair and was 168 centimeters in height. She was a beauty but wasn't at the same level as the Shangguan sisters. She spoke, "Don't bully him Meng Hu. Or he would cry and call his big sister Shui Ro." "Oh, so this is Meng Long whom you guys were talking about?" The second girl said, who had black shoulder-length hair with an oval-shaped face. She was also good-looking but had heavy makeup to beautify herself as her hands were wrapped around Meng Hu in an intimate way. "What do you mean brother Meng Hu? Is he Meng Long the one who couldn't raise his spirit energy from level 1? Wang Min asked as this was a piece of shocking news to him. My unfortunate brother. Who almost lost his life and his father didn't care about him as he was too useless. Meng Hu chuckled. The brown-haired girl was the step-sister of Yu Yan from the Meng clan and a sibling of Meng Hu. Her name was Meng Bao and had a mocking smile on her face that was gazing at her stepbrother. Father was going to kill him if not for the clan elders who stopped him, Meng Bao said in an amusing voice. Hey, Yu Yan. Are they telling the truth? Ling Er asked turning her head upward towards the boy as her hands were wrapped around him. Yeah. But they are wrong about one thing. I wasn't kicked by the clan. But it was I, who abandoned the clan because it was a clan of greedy idiots who only cared about talent. It wasn't worthy in my eyes as I find them disgusting. So these two idiot siblings don't know that I changed my name to Yu Yan since I broke my relationship with their foolish father and trash clan. His voice was calm when he spoke. How dare you call our father foolish? Meng Hu and Meng Bao summoned a sword and a mace from their spatial storage as they prepared to attack him. Soon, Shangguan Linger stopped in front of her fake boyfriend, unsheathing her long sword from her curvaceous waist. If you take one more step ahead and you will lose your head from your neck. Don't blame me later that I didn't warn you. No one can touch my Yu Yan. The crimson-haired beauty had a determination flickering in her eyes as she made both sibling pairs take a step back in fear. ===//////////////////////////// Snow note, important, the novel will be renamed to My 5 Beautiful Girlfriends in the Spirit World in a week or two as that name would suit it better. _______________________ Please vote with Power Stones and Golden Tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Edited by The White Snow. Chapter 53 Daddy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As the Meng siblings prepare to attack the fake boyfriend of Linger, she unsheathed her sword to shield him from them as she spoke, if you take one more step ahead, you will lose your head from your neck. Don't blame me later that I didn't warn you. No one can touch my Yu Yan. Her eyes were filled with unwavering resolute as her voice sounded as if she would really do what she declared, there was no doubt about it. Even Yu Yan was surprised by her sudden action and Binger was delighted, seeing her sister protecting him for some unknown reason that she didn't even know. Both Meng Hu and Meng Bao took a step back in fear as they were all aware of the Shangguan Linger who was famous on the continent for her great talent in sword mastery. Even Meng clan didn't dare to go against Shangguan clan as this was a clan that protected Treasure Country against the dangerous forest and wild beasts. Their strength was higher than all other clans and only below the royal family. Why are you protecting him, Shangguan Linger? He insulted our father, we cannot let this go without taking his life. Meng Hu said, his voice was flowing with anger. If what he said is true then he isn't wrong with his words. His father didn't even care about Yu Yan and pushed him to a point where he broke his bonding with the clan. The crimson-haired beauty responded and took his side as she had heard about the incident through secret intel sent by her clan. How can you make him your lover? He is a trash that we all know how he never able to cultivate to the next rank. Won Min said in annoyance. He continued, I'm going to tell uncle about this. He won't agree that his beloved daughter being married to a trash like him. The boy's voice was filled with joy and contempt as he mocked Yu Yen. He was delighted in his heart as he realized Linger's lover was a trash who she picked to spend the rest of her life with. The thought of Yu Yen being at Tian High Academy in the same year as him and not being really what the rumor said never crossed his mind. Linger's fake boyfriend was about to summon his guardian shield to thrash them on the spot, but when he saw Shangguan Linger step in he had a better impression of her and decided to see her performance. He didn't think she would take a stand for him against his step-siblings. He was happy in his heart as he saw this. Do what you think, but he is anything but a trash. The girl spoke, as she remembered how Yu Yen had easily intimidated her during their duel. Meng Long, today you were saved by Shangguan Linger, but who would save you tomorrow from me? Meng Hu asked with an evil smile that was present on his face. Why are you acting like a third-grade villain from some second-grade stories? Just go away, that I don't have time to play with you guys. Yu Yen waved his hands in oscillation motion to shoo them away as if they were flies. Let's go, brother Wang. Meng Hu grumbled as he decided to leave the scene with his friends. The step-sister Meng Bao also twisted her face to rude gesture at Yu Yen before turning around to go away. Wang Min had a mocking smile as he was thinking about how he would complain to Shangguan Linger's father to remove the boy from her life and ask to marry her. After they all left, Shangguan Linger turned around as Binger also approached him, who was standing nearby, watching the unexpected incident. You need to explain yourself. The crimson-haired beauty asked, crossing her arms. Why do I need to explain? Are you my mother? The boy had a feeble smile on his face as he asked confidently. You should stop provoking her intentionally. We are your teammates, so at least you should explain yourself. Shangguan Binger said from the side, her voice was gentle. Yu Yen moved his eyes to look at her, thinking about how did she start talking about being a teammate from not even making him his friend. The Shangguan sisters were really strange and couldn't stick to their word. Since the boy didn't know how Linger had begged Binger to help her to make him act as her fake boyfriend. I used to be known as Meng Long. I lived peacefully without cultivating as I didn't want to be bothered by the outside world and spend my time reading. But my second brother didn't like it as one day he poisoned me and I almost lost my life. When I saw Meng Chen didn't come to see me after I was bedridden, I realized how cruel this world can be if you don't cultivate. Big sister came to fetch me from the clan as they wanted to send me to the branch family clan. On that day, I swore to heaven in my mother's name that I would break all bonding with the Meng clan. I left to accompany big sister to here in Tian High Academy. I cannot tell you what happened next as it's my secret. Yu Yen explained his story in short with a mix of lies and truth in good balance. The Shangguan sisters had surprise flickering in their eyes as they heard about his sad past. Their eyes twitched when he called his father by his real name. I thought only my parents didn't care about me. You had even worse. Shangguan Binger mumbled. Why, what happened? The boy asked as he raised his brows. Father didn't adore her like me and gave her the cold shoulder after knowing her spirit is broken and cannot be healed. The crimson-haired beauty answered, her voice was flickering with sorrow. Since we have similar pasts, so if you want I can be your daddy and you can be my mommy. How about it? He asked shamelessly, but his eyes were filled with affection. Daddy. Binger mumbled once, then remembering something, she clenched her fist and punched him in the chest. Arg, that I will take that as yes. He rubbed the place where she hit him without using spirit energy as she turned around to walk away. A hint of redness was spread on her cheeks as she had read books about those words. Her favorite task to do as a loner was to read books, so she was aware of these words that were used among lovers. Shangguan Linger wasn't that aware as she mostly spent her time with sword and cultivation. She said, that's nice of you, but you have a long way to go. If you treat my sister well, I will let you be her best friend in the future. The crimson-haired beauty patted his head as she also turned around to go after the white-haired beauty. Such a weird combination of sisters. Yu Yan mumbled as he also followed behind them. The trio walked towards the city gate to enter the forest as they needed to cross it to reach the Silver Moon village. The sun was just starting to rise on the horizon as they set out on their journey. The Shengguan sisters had packed light, each carrying a backpack filled with 2 sets of clothes that were hanging on their back. As they walked deeper, the dense forest grew thicker and darker. The trees blocked out most of the sunlight, leaving them in a dim, green-hued verdant world. The ground was soft and spongy underfoot due to the moss and fallen leaves muffling their footsteps. We need to pass this forest, but we will have to take another route so we don't encounter them. Shangguan Linger declared as she closed the paper map and kept it in her bag. How long would it take us to reach there? The boy asked as he wasn't aware of this village. It wasn't formed when he lived in this world thousands of years ago. If we went using the normal path, then it would have taken us 16 hours, but this one would take us 17 if we want to avoid the beast on our way, the crimson-haired beauty said as she walked alongside her sister. Okay. Then are we going to camp in the forest during the night? He asked. Yeah, we will have to find a safe place and stop our journey or we will get attacked by the wild beasts, she responded, her voice didn't show any fear. How are we going to sleep in the wild without anything? The boy asked, although he had lived in the wilderness for many years in his past life, but he still wanted to know how much these 2 sisters had experienced. =========================================================================================================================Naval will be renamed to My 5 Beautiful Girlfriends in the Spirit World in a week or 2 as that name would suit it better. Please vote with Power Stones and Golden Tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Chapter 54 Body Inspect by the Beauty. You are listening at novelfull.audio. We can make a shed near trees with the things around us. Let's hope we can find a source of water. The teacher didn't even let us bring water or food with us, so we would need to gather everything on our own. Linga responded as her eyes were going everywhere to look for things that they could use in this dense forest. We were never asked to not keep it in the forest. The condition was to not bring it into the village. It only means that the examination would start after we reach our destination. Yu Yan explained. Yeah. But who would we give our stuff to at the village? We can't just keep it somewhere or to someone, the crimson-haired beauty asked as her eyebrows scrunched. Although she never thought this option existed, as no one would hide their precious spatial storage in the forest. Are you sure about that? The boy questioned, his voice was filled with amusement. Don't play with words. I have just decided to treat you better after knowing your sad past. So say it before I also punch you like Binger and go against my decision. She spoke as he turned around to give him a fierce glare. You don't have to bare your teeth at me like a tigress. We can hide our spatial ring somewhere in the forest. Nobody would know where we kept it besides ourselves. He chuckled. How unfortunate. None of us brought our spatial ring with us, Linger spoke as she continued to walk ahead. Have I said, I didn't bring mine? Yu Yan responded in an enigmatic manner. Don't joke with me, boy. I don't see any ring, pendant, or bracelet on your body. Linger spoke, as she thought he was kidding. That's the trick. No one would be able to find out about the spatial device, so I can even keep it in the village as long as you both seal your lips and keep my secret. His voice was filled with mystery as he described about his system inventory. Both girls turned around hearing his statement as they gazed at his figure that was dressed into a young master's robe prepared by his loyal wife, Zhang Shui. Linger observed him from head to toe while Binger just gave him a confused stare. Maybe you're hiding under your dress. The crimson-haired beauty said after she was sure he really didn't have anything that was visible. But she thought he might be hiding them under his clothes. Feel free to check for your satisfaction, but nobody can find it. If you find it, then I'm ready to be your fake boyfriend as long as you want it. He spoke, giving her a good enticing offer. Hearing his words, her eyes lit up like an electric bulb, as this would solve her issue and she could use him until she entered the inner court of Tian High Academy. Okay. Here I come. She hovered her fingers in the air and flickered them, moving closer to him, and started checking his clothes. Bing'er watched from behind. She mumbled inwardly, "Why do I feel like I should stop her from getting near him?" The white-haired beauty wasn't able to understand what she was feeling was jealousy she inherited from her previous life, even though her memories were sealed, but her heart kept those feelings. Ling'er's strong but delicate hands slithered like snakes around his muscular shoulders, chest to back, and then moved down his thighs as she forgot in excitement he was a boy. He didn't resist as she inspected every bit of his body. The girl was so close to him as the boy was welcomed by her plum blossom aromatic scent that was coming from the young maiden's body. In the end, her hand landed on the forbidden land as she was lost in her heroic expedition and grabbed the treasure she wasn't looking for. Found it. As she used her hand to caress it and felt the structure with her fingers, tapping it gently and squeezing it as she realized what it was. Ah! A long shrill scream sounded in the dense forest as the girl fell on her chubby buttocks, her adorable face painted in redness. "What have you done, girl? Since you held my dragon, that I will have to make you mine along with your sister." Yu Yen thought as the girl had mistakenly touched his mighty shaft while searching for the spatial ring. "What happened, Ling'er? Why are you scared?" Bing'er went to her sister with rushed footsteps. She sit beside her to pat her back to comfort her. She was worried seeing the crimson-haired beauty getting scared all of a sudden. Shangguan Ling'er's face was all red that also spread around her neck as she was not able to move her eyes upward to look at him. She wavered the fingers she used to caress his long shaft and remember it. This caused her to hide her face in her both palms in embarrassment. Bing'er saw her sister acting abnormally as she took her in an embrace. "What have you done? Why does she look so scared?" Bing'er asked. Her voice was puzzled and had a hint of anger. "You wouldn't understand that it's something between us lovers." Yu Yen responded as he moved away from them, giving the crimson-haired beauty time to calm down. Bing'er didn't understand his words, but the girl in her hug understood it well as she hugged the white-haired beauty tightly in embarrassment. "Ah, what have I done?" Those were his, "Ah, no, this cannot happen." "Ah," that was soft at first, but it became hard and longer. What am I thinking that I hate him so much? He is so bad." The girl cried out in her thought as she was resting in her sister's embrace. Bing'er ruffled her silky crimson hair and patted her shoulder to help her calm down. He said it's something between lovers. Does that mean lovers actually do those things? But we aren't lovers. I just wanted him to be my fake boyfriend. What do I do now? How I will be able to talk to him again? Ling'er mumbled inwardly as she was complaining about the unexpected event that happened by her mistake. After half an hour she calmed down. She looked at her sister and spoke with a mosquito-like voice, "We should leave soon, we are getting late. Ask him to follow us." She said to Bing'er to talk to the boy as she was embarrassed to engage with him in any conversation. Bing'er gave her a puzzled look but still stood up to call the boy who was a few trees away, giving sisters privacy to talk. The white-haired beauty said in a loud voice, "Yu Yen, she is okay now. We are leaving, so come back." Yu Yen used his hand to hover in the air and make an OK sign with the thumb touching with index and the other three standing all together. They started the journey once again, but this time their speed was faster than before as nobody talked. The boy knew the crimson-haired beauty was too embarrassed to talk, so he didn't tease her intentionally and gave her enough space to stabilize. On the other hand, he needed more time to coax Shangguan Bing'er to be able to talk to her. The trio didn't find any wild beasts as they avoided red dots marked on the map of Shangguan Ling'er's possession. After walking for 12 hours, they finally came across a stream of water. "It's getting darker, we should camp here tonight, Linger said, as she announced her plan. She turned around and her eyes met with Yu Yan's as he waved at her with a smile. The girl instantly turned around to avoid his gaze as she remembered what happened and walked away from him. She went to gather vines and leaves and instructed Binger to ask the boy to help them. The white-haired beauty went to Yu Yan and said, "Help us gather vines, moss, and tree branches so we can make a shed for spending our night. If you ask me to pluck stars from the sky, I could even do that for you. These vines, moss, and branches are just small things." He spoke, his voice was filled with affection as he stared into her blue eyes. Plucking stars from the sky. That only happens in the fairy tales. Binger said before leaving to do her part of the task. One day that you will realize I wasn't joking. The boy sighed as he thought about his Empress Nova spirit that was giggling in his soul hearing their interaction. The trio was deep in the forest, surrounded by tall trees in the embrace of nature. The sun was beginning to set on the horizon, and they were required to make a tent for the night. The three of them set to work gathering leaves, vines, moss, and tree branches from the forest as everything were available to them in Mother Nature. They worked quickly, but carefully, making sure to gather enough materials to build a sturdy tent. The forest was alive with the sounds of birds and insects, and the warm glow of the setting sun filtered through the trees, casting a golden light on everything around them. Finally, they had gathered enough materials to build their verdant shed. Equals 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 slash forward slash forward slash forward slash equals 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 equals. Snow note, important, the novel will be renamed to My 5 Beautiful Girlfriends in the Spirit World in a week or two as that name would suit it better. Underscore 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 underscore. Please vote with power stones and golden tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Chapter 55 I Will Just Marry You Make You Bankrupt. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Shangguan sisters worked together to weave the leaves, vines, and moss into a crude but effective shelter. The boy stood away from them so as not to make Linger bashful again. The sweet sisters used the vines to tie the branches and leaves to the trees' trunks, creating a kind of tent-like structure. Placing comfy leaves in the midst to use as their bedding along with the moss they gathered. "Ah, that it's done that we need to get some firewood," Linger mumbled as she went to find the materials for the campfire. She gathered dry branches and twigs from the forest floor and used stones to ignite the fire. As the fire grew, she added larger sticks and logs, until it was a blazing fire. Yu Yan had brought leaves and mosses to make comfy seats on the floor a meter away from the campfire and invited Binger and her sister to sit there. The boy took the seat beside the white-haired beauty as he knew Linger would have become embarrassed if he sat near her. The trio had built their own shelter and fire, and were warm in the middle of the dense forest, surrounded by the beauty of nature. It was already dark night as the forest was filled with the sound of cricket and the rustle of leaves caused by the cold breeze, and the moonlight came through gaps in trees, spreading its light glow to the forest ground. 3 human figures were sitting in front of the crackling fire in the midst of a forest as a crimson-haired beauty took a peek at the boy from time to time who caused her to become coyish earlier in the day. His hands wrapped around his knees and watched the flames dancing in front of him. Yu Yan's face was lit up by the radiance of roaring fire. "Don't look at me like that if you want I can come beside you." He spoke as he had already noticed her peeking action. The crimson-haired beauty sat straight, acting as if she didn't hear him and didn't say anything. Shangguan Binger gave them a look as she was sitting in the middle of them, then she thought to change the topic as she asked, "Isn't it risky to make a fire and attract the wild beasts?" "Yeah, if beasts come then we can have our night meal. So it's better to have the campfire." Linger described her cunning plan. Hearing their conversation, Yu Yan hovered his hand in front of Binger and spread his palm. He said, "Heaven, if I'm the right person for Binger, then send some edible food in my hand." Soon, 3 Arctic saffron cookies and 2 peanut buns appeared on a big plate that was placed on his palm. The girls were surprised to see this happening, as they didn't expect his shameless words would be fulfilled. "So you weren't lying that you have spatial storage with you?" The white-haired beauty spoke. "Nah, it's sent by heaven to prove I'm one and only for you," the boy responded, rubbing his nose with the other hand's index finger. Binger glared at him as if she didn't like his bad joke. Yu Yen said, "When I said I really have the spatial device, you guys didn't believe me. So let it be heaven who sent the food. Didn't Linger found your spatial storage device that time that she got scared?" Shangwan Binger asked, her eyebrows were scrunched in puzzlement. "Yeah. Definitely. That's why I'm going to be her boyfriend free of cost," Yu Yen said, as he didn't add the fake before the word. The crimson-haired beauty's face was all red as her sister was reminding her of that incident. "Don't you want some, Binger?" the boy asked as the plate was right in front of her. "No, I'm not hungry," she declined with a straight face, as she didn't show any interest. However, a rumbling sound reverberated one after another back to back that exposed her. "Your cute tummy doesn't agree with you. Don't be shy, that we are all one team. Here." He handed her 1 Arctic saffron cookie and 1 peanut bun. Binger didn't refuse it this time, as she was really hungry and they were on the same team. Shangwan Linger was delighted that her sister had taken 2 so she could at least give her 1. But to her surprise, the white-haired beauty didn't even turn towards her and ate with a happy heart. Binger was thinking that the boy would surely give her sister food, as he had given 1 team member so. Linger's face was as if she would cry, seeing her sister didn't even care about her. She was too embarrassed to ask the boy. As the white-haired beauty finished the food, she realized he didn't give it to her sister. Yu Yen ate 1 Arctic saffron cookie alone, as he had remaining food on the plate in his other hand that he didn't bother to offer anyone. The crimson-haired beauty watched from the side as she thought, "That hateful guy, that he didn't even ask me them. Why sister also betrayed me and didn't give me any. It's not possible, but they seem to be together to bully me. No, please, my food." As she saw the food was going to end soon, she decided to take the action. Linger inclined towards her sister's lap and suddenly moved her hand to pull the remaining Arctic saffron cookie and 2 peanut buns from Yu Yan's plate, which was in his hand near the white-haired beauty's side. Binger was taken aback by her sister's not so elegant action as she robbed the food out of the boy's possession. Yu Yan was already prepared, as this was all his plan to coax the greedy squirrel to take the honey bait. He had intentionally put the plate there so Linger takes them herself. He wanted to see what method she uses to eat, as the boy didn't think she would stay hungry or wait for wild beasts to come. As the girl took all the food on the plate, she sat in a normal position. "I hate you," she said adorably with puffed cheeks as she took a bite from the peanut bun. Yu Yan found her action cute as he responded with a feeble smile, "There was a saying I read in the book, if a girl says they hate you, it definitely means they love you a lot. I don't know how much true it is. It's not true at all that I just hate you," she said, chewing the food she stole after preparing all the courage to tackle the embarrassment. "Okay, little one. Here another one. You seem like no one has fed you for a long time." He gave her another peanut bun. Linger took it without resistance, as she was really hungry after the 12-hour journey in the dense forest. She gets more hungry because of her spirit, as it requires her to eat more than normal. Binger explained, as she didn't like the boy saying no one had fed her sister. So you are going to make your husband bankrupt with your intense eating habit," he said, his voice was filled with amusement. "Don't make fun of me, or I will just marry you and make you bankrupt," the crimson-haired beauty said with annoyance as she focused on eating. There was a lack of elegance when she ate, as she didn't care about the high noble manners or etiquette of a great clan's young miss. She wasn't interested to impress Yu Yan either. "You cannot make me bankrupt. That I have more than enough money and food to feed 100 of you," he responded, taking out more Arctic saffron cookie and peanut buns to give her. The girl was happier as she took the food with a joyous heart and kept filling her stomach to calm her hunger. Where are you hiding them and how many of these do you have? Won't they all finish if you give all to me? The crimson-haired beauty asked as she was consumed in eating her food, forgetting the incident from earlier that made her shy. I have more than enough for our trip. I can feed you this much every day for a month. Yu Yen said, as he remembered Song Shui giving him a lot of food to store in his system inventory as she had them in the spatial ring that she had brought from the Phoenix City. These were the food that wasn't prepared by her, as some were bought with money and others were prepared by the royal maids. The one she cooked herself was specially kept in another slot of Yu Yan's space that he had saved for himself. He wasn't going to waste Song Shui's all-night effort that she sacrificed her sleep to cook especially for him. It was her pure affection and love for him. He wasn't going to just give them away to court another girl. If there was no other way to find food to feed them, then he would have taken them out as last resort, but they also had the option to hunt in the wild and grill the meat of beasts. As the trio had finished their night meal, their next problem was where the three of them would sleep, as there was only one shed and they weren't of the same gender or even lovers who would sleep together. Equals 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 slash forward slash forward slash forward slash equals 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 equals. Snow note, important, the novel will be renamed to My 5 Beautiful Girlfriends in the Spirit World in a week or two, as that name would suit it better. Underscore 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 underscore. Please vote with power stones and golden tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Chapter 56, A Night in the Forest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yu Yan took out a bottle of cold water from his system inventory, which looked more stylish than the one he used on Earth, as it was crafted using some fine materials that kept it fresh. He unsealed the opening before gulping the content down his throat. Hey, why did you drink it directly? The crimson-haired beauty complained as she had finished eating already and wanted water as well. It's mine, so it's my wish however I want to drink. He responded, sealing the bottle as he didn't finish it. But we are also thirsty, Linger spoke as she pouted and made a cute face that looked downhearted. There, Yu Yan spoke in a stiff voice and pointed towards the stream of water, which was not far away from their location, as they had decided on their camping location near it. But that water has a putrid smell that I don't want to drink that when you have a fresh one, the girl spoke as her eyes were staring at his bottle with puppy eyes. He gazed at the river and then at Shangguan Linger, seeing how she was asking with an adorable face. The boy sighed and decided to share, as he spread his hand to give her the bottle. Okay, you can have it. The girl took it reluctantly but immediately and unsealed it before drinking, as the gulping sound reverberated from her action. Doesn't that make it my first kiss indirectly? The crimson-haired beauty thought inwardly, and redness spread around her face to the neck as she stopped drinking, considering saving some for her beloved sister. Here, Binger. Linger gave the remaining water to her sister, who was also thirsty. No, I don't want. I would rather drink from the steam of water than the one he used for himself directly. The white-haired beauty was firm with her decision, as she also thought in the same that her sister was thinking in her mind a while ago. You don't have to drink the smell of water from the river. I have another one. Here. He said with a gentle voice as the boy took out another bottle and gave her. Seeing this, Linger veins popped up on her forehead as she had to drink from the one he used, as she thought there was no other option. You, that I really hate you, the crimson-haired beauty said with puffed-up cheeks as she was bullied again and realized the boy had extra water bottles in his spatial storage device. I'm going to sleep. You sisters can keep those bottles with you, since you might need them while you guard tonight against the wild beast. Yu Yan said, stretching his hands and yawning as he stood up from his leafy seat to go to his verdant bed. Hey! No. You need to guard. Let us sleep first. Linger hurriedly shouted to stop him as she stood up to go after the boy. I'll guard later. He responded to her as he entered the shed they built and lay down to the side, leaving enough space for others. The crimson-haired beauty also followed him in and saw how he had his eyes closed. Let him sleep. We will guard first. Binger's voice resounded from behind. No, Binger, you don't have to stay awake. I'll take care of it. You should sleep. Linger decided to take responsibility on her own shoulder and let her sweet sister sleep for the night. Okay, but where would I sleep? The white-haired beauty asked as she didn't want to sleep beside a boy. Come. Linger beckoned her as she sat beside the empty space where Yu Yen was sleeping. She patted the ground beside her, which was on the opposite side of the boy. The crimson-haired beauty had her legs and knees spread horizontally on the ground to use as borders between them as she was sitting in an L shape. Binger hesitated a little, but then she lay down beside her on the comfy leaves as she closed her eyes to sleep, having her sister protecting her reduced the scruple in her maiden heart. As Yu Yen and the white-haired beauty were sleeping, Linger was quietly guarding them. She was gazing outside the shed in the distance as she remembered what happened today so far. The girl still found Yu Yen annoying, but she thought he wasn't as bad as she thought of him at first. Even Binger was okay when he stayed nearby and he didn't treat the white-haired beauty as if she was a monster. This helped Linger have a better impression of boy. As she was lost in thoughts, she felt a head placed on her right leg as Binger was already asleep. Hey, what are you doing? The girl asked in a hushed tone, not disturbing her sister's sleep. I need a comfy pillow, so don't mind me. Yu Yen mumbled as his eyes were closed. But I'm not your pillow. The girl whispered to him. Can't you at least help me sleep for the night and take responsibility as my fake girlfriend? Yu Yen spoke in a drowsy voice. But. She wanted to refuse, but she couldn't say anything in the end, remembering she would need his help in the future against the young master of the Wang clan. Yu Yen noticed she wasn't resisting as he closed his eyes to sleep comfortably. The girl gazed at his calm face as Yu Yen was calmly laying on the floor. He doesn't look that annoying when he is asleep. This poor boy has gone through so much but still has a bright smile on his face all the time. If he wasn't this annoying, then I might have liked him a little bit. Linger was contemplating in her heart as she had started ruffling his silky black hair without even realizing it. The boy didn't expect her to caress his hair so delicately like Tsang Shui, but he was happy as Linger continued. Yu Yen only kept his head on her leg as he didn't have thought of taking advantage of her. Forcing a human like her was like bending iron, as it would cause their bonding to break, so he was going to be mindful of his action. The night was quiet and dark as the lover of the previous life slept together beside each other with a human barrier in middle. The crimson-haired beauty didn't bother waking them up as she guarded them all night. Early in the morning, Yu Yen woke up first as he fluttered open his eyes to see Linger looked sleepy, but she was still watching outside with a leaden gaze. His head was still placed on her leg as decided to sit up and release her from the burden of being his comfy pillow. Feeling the movement on her leg, her eyes fell on him as she noticed he woke up. Morning, why did you not wake me up? The boy asked with a puzzled face, keeping his voice quiet. I just felt like not sleeping. The girl spoke as her voice felt tired. That's not convincing to me. However, you should take a nap now that we still have some time. Yu Yen said. He didn't think she would let him sleep peacefully while ruining her own rest. Nah, if I sleep now we would get late to reach the Silver Moon village and other teams might get a lead. Linger responded. Okay, if you don't want, then let's go outside. That we shouldn't talk here, she might wake up, the boy said in a hushed voice as he stood up to leave. The girl followed him and left Binger to sleep peacefully. He took out a bottle and some food from his inventory to give her. Here, you must be hungry after guarding all night. The girl nodded and took it from his hand. She wasn't showing her fierce side right now as she was tired from being awake all night all alone like a lonely ghost. The firewood had become gray ashes as the ground was charred black. The crimson-haired beauty sat on the place which they used last night when they were enjoying the campfire. Yu Yen said, I will take a look around the forest that you stay with her. I will come back in 15 minutes. O.phh.ke. Linga responded with a muffle as she was busy eating the food. She didn't expect to find such delicious peanut buns in the wilderness where other students were supposed to eat wild beasts' meat. The boy walked for a minute before disappearing from his place and wasn't noticed by Linger as he appeared far away. He was able to sense where Tsang Shui was, so he thought to go to her before Binger woke up, and they left for Silver Moon Village. ======================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================== friends in the spirit world, in a week or two, as that name would suit it better. Underscore 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 underscore. Please vote with power stones and golden tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Chapter 57, The Second 10x Gotcha Pull. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After walking for 2 minutes, he found a majestic tall tree and cast his break gravity to shoot upwards towards the highest branch. The girls had weaved the branches on the highest branch, using vines to make their bedding with the help of leaves and blankets they had in their spatial rings. Tsang Shui waved at him with a gentle smile as she was sitting on the weaved vines. Made bed when he reached the top of the tree near their place. He stepped in the air before landing on the tree's branch like a falling leaf. There were 3 separate beddings so they wouldn't disturb each other's peaceful sleep while they were up high near the tree's crown. Yuna had an elven nature spirit that she had received from Yu Yen in his previous life, so it was easy to make 3 comfortable beds weaved by vines. The boy moved to go to the blonde-haired beauty's bed as Yuna and Shui Ro were drowned in dreamland and didn't want to disturb them. "Were you watching me all night?" he asked in a hushed tone as he sat beside Tsang Shui. "We were not able to see the inside of the shed. But Yuna was laughing when you made fun of Shangguan Linger while Shui Ro was saying you shouldn't have bullied her." She responded with a gentle smile. "And you?" he asked, gazing into her scarlet eyes. "I was happy that you didn't give them the food that I prepared for you," she said in a serene voice. "Would you be mad at me if I shared with them?" he questioned her, raising his brows. "A little, if you had other foods. That girl is busy eating the peanut buns you gave her. If she succeeds to finish the extra food in your inventory, just find me, and I will refill them for your future girlfriend. I have enough in my storage ring," Tsang Shui said as she knew how much the crimson-haired beauty ate. "I will surely ask." "Don't worry," he said as he kissed her cheeks, knowing how supportive she was towards him chasing another girl. The boy was lucky to have someone who loved him like her. "For how long are you gonna make her wait there all alone?" she asked and gazed into the distance where the girl was eating with both of her hands like a hooligan as Yu Yan had given her enough food to busy herself for 15 minutes, knowing how much she ate last night. "I need to use those gotcha pulls and upgrade my twin vixen spirit grade, so I came here. Please guard me for a few minutes. Then I will go back," Yu Yan asked as he requested his wife for assistance. Tsang Shui nodded. "System, open the gotcha pull menu," the black-haired boy commanded in his thoughts. As he spoke in his mind, a notification popped up in front of him on the screen panel. Chapter 58, Six-Tail Vixen Spirit. You are listening at novelfull.audio. He heard more notifications in his mind as the information about his new treasures appeared in front of him. "I can use the robe for my inner court identity as I need to keep it a secret from Shangguan sisters for now. As for Golden Lion, this would come in handy for our journeys and the usage of Spirit Evolution Pill, I will have to think about that." He put this reward aside after deciding where he would use most of them, and they were all stored in his inventory, but his Golden Lion was sent into his Soul Sea as it was similar to his spirit and couldn't be kept inside the system storage. Yu Yan moved to the final reward and tapped the silver orb with expectant eyes as he was hoping for something useful to come. The silver orb transformed into black smoke as it crashed onto the ground before crawling towards him like a dark spider. It spread to cover his body in the dark webs as a notification rang in his mind. Dark smoke began to emit from his body as it swirled around him, enveloping him from head to toe in a cloak of shadows. His body glowed with a fierce intensity of darkness as he was now in his new shadow form. It's not that bad. I should use it with my inner court identity just like that violet-grade mysterious robe armor, as the guardian shield should be enough to handle the children at outer court. The boy came out of gotcha, pulling animation as he found himself sitting beside Sang Shui. She had also witnessed what he had gone through as she was able to see his system and notification. Additionally, she also saw his new shadow form skill that had enveloped his body in darkness a few seconds ago. It's strong. She complimented his skill with a pleasant smile. I need to go now. Yu Yan said as he decided to leave now. Don't you need to upgrade your twin vixen spirit? She asked with expectant eyes. Yeah, but there is not enough space here, so I will do it when I'm below on the ground. Saying that, he moved to peck on his cherry dot-like lips. The blonde dot-haired beauty felt delighted by his sudden loving gesture as she bid him farewell by returning the kiss. Yu Yan leaped from the top of the tree as he used his Empress Nova spirit to manipulate gravity to land perfectly on the ground. The boy summoned his twin vixen spirit by calling them from his soul sea. A light glimmered around him as two beautiful figures appeared in front of the boy. The spirit girls hadn't changed much from the first time he saw them. The white dot-haired vixen was giving him a chilly gaze and Ayumi had a playful smile on her adorable face. Hello master, you didn't summon us for a long time and forgot about me. We also need some fresh air, you know. The brown dot-haired vixen complained as she sounded like she was wronged by him, but she was only being mischievous. Sorry. I was busy traveling to the Tian High Academy and they had to take a trial after getting admission here. He apologized in a sincere tone. After that, the boy beckoned her saying, this is for you. Ayumi came closer, giving her open palm to her master, as the girl's eyes were curiously gazing at him and waiting for what he would give her. Yu Yan handed her spirit evolution pill as it landed on her spread palm. The girl's eyes shone as she could feel spirit energy coming from the pill that was filling her body with strength. Even Hanako was invited by the enticement of the violet-grade treasure as she moved closer to Ayumi, and her greedy eyes were looking at it as if it was a heavenly dish, but when she gazed at Yu Yan she pouted to show that she didn't like him, but deep inside she was joyous. Here. Ayumi placed it inside her sister's mouth, giving her when she was unprepared as the white dot-haired vixen was taken aback. Hanako didn't expect she would give it to her, but as spirit evolution pill went inside her mouth, it dissolved instantly as a rush of energy stormed into her body. Both of their figures started to glow and started increasing their hair, bosom, and tail sizes, making them fairer and more curvaceous. Their hidden tails had also materialized as the boy could count them, and there were 3, but soon he saw 3 more grow behind their back from the tailbone. As this happened, he heard a few notifications in his mind as it confirmed their spirit evolution. Underscore 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 underscore. Please vote with power stones and golden tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Chapter 59 Six-Tail Vixen Spirit, 2, you are listening at novelfull.audio. As this happened, he heard a few notifications ring in his mind as it confirmed their spirit evolution to the indigo grade. He read the notification panel carefully as most of them were quite handy, such as the tentacles one. The shadow bomb was also useful to get his enemies off guard. The boy closed the system messages hovering in front of him and looked at twin vixens who were joyous at their evolution and inspecting their new fluffy tails with delighted faces. Yu Yan said, sorry, I have to hurry, so you two need to come back. It's okay master, we are already happy that you gave us such great treasure, Ayumi spoke in a tender voice as she was happy receiving the spirit-enhancing pill. They both transformed into light before vanishing away into his soul sea. The boy used blink to teleport toward the Shangguan sisters' direction as he did not want to waste more time traveling. Yu Yan appeared behind a broad tree as he started trudging towards the Shangguan Linger, who almost finished eating her breakfast. When she heard approaching footsteps, she turned around to check as her eyes became soft and eager to see who was coming. As she saw him almost near her, she mumbled, "Water." Yu Yan found it amusing as Linger had remnants of peanut buns at the side of her upper lip. With a faint smile, he bent his knees, moving closer to her as he used his thumb finger to brush it away. The girl didn't understand why he was getting closer as her heartbeat started thumping, but soon she felt embarrassed when he touched the side of her lips to remove the residue of leftover peanut buns. Yu Yan brought out a bottle and handed her, "Here." The girl took the bottle without standing on ceremony. He sat beside her as the girl gulped down the content through her parched throat and emptied the bottle slowly. The boy was watching her drink as his eyes were filled with amusement looking at her adorable action. Shangguan Linger scrunched her eyebrows to glare at him to not make fun of her. After she was done, she handed him the bottle and said, "Here. Won't you even thank me?" He asked as the boy saw how she didn't use basic etiquette to show gratitude. "Weren't you talking about last night how I am your fake girlfriend and I should let you use my leg as pillow? That also applies to you, so why should I thank my pseudo-boyfriend if I use his water?" The girl explained her logic, but she didn't realize she had started acting like his real lover instead, who thought she had the right to his things. Fair enough. He didn't bicker about it as this was in his favor if she accept him this way or another way. "Should I wake up Binger?" Shangguan Linger asked as her sister was still sleeping. "Let her sleep," he responded as he didn't want to ruin his Binger beautiful dream. "Aren't you worried to lose to others if we reach the Silver Moon village late? Won't they get a big lead, especially your second brother?" The crimson-haired beauty asked as she saw how the boy didn't care about competing with his evil siblings. "This mere task isn't valuable for me more than her sleep. Even this Tian High Academy isn't worth enough to spoil her peaceful sleep. I wouldn't allow it," the boy said, gazing in the direction where they had their verdant shed in place. When he had to save Yuna, he gave up all his cultivation and even his nature spirit. When he was asked to gift Sang Shui, heaven, in order to save her from Xielong Temple, he even sacrificed himself. Yu Yan was a person who didn't even care about slaughtering the whole world for the person he loved. Why would he care about some academy and some mission that held zero value in his eyes? Moreover, his Binger held a special spot in his heart, so he was determined to take good care of her and stay by her side even if she didn't remember him. "Don't act as if you are closer to her than me. She is my beloved sister, so I obviously care about her more than anyone else. Don't make me feel bad about it with your pickup lines," Linger said, with puffed-up cheeks as she sounded like he wronged her. The girl wasn't aware of Yu Yan's unnatural circumstances, so she misunderstood him. Underscore 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 underscore. Please vote with power stones and golden tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library. Chapter 60, The Golden Lion. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Don't act as if you are closer to her than me. She is my beloved sister, so I obviously care about her more than anyone else. Don't make me feel bad about it with your pickup lines, Linger said, with puffed-up cheeks as she sounded like he wronged her. The girl wasn't aware of Yu Yan's unnatural circumstances, so she misunderstood him. "Are you jealous of your sister?" he asked with a feeble smile. Why would I be?" the girl questioned with scrunched eyebrows as she refused to accept such an allegation. "Shouldn't you be happy that there is one more person beside you who care about your sister? Isn't she very lonely and has no one?" The boy spoke as he tried to convince her of the positive aspects of his friendship with the white-haired beauty. Yeah, but I don't trust you enough to let you be around Binger. It's not like I'm jealous of my sister. The girl declared as she was dissatisfied with his questions. Seeing her disgruntled mood, he decided to change the topic. How long would it take to reach the Silver Moon village from here? At least, 4 hours. Why do you ask? She said and questioned him as the crimson-haired beauty thought he may have some reason behind his query. I have a way for us to reach the village at a fast pace, but I don't think you would agree, Yu Yan replied as he thought about his newly acquired pet. What method? Shangguan Linger asked in puzzlement. I have a battle pet that can help us fasten our journey, he revealed about his golden lion to the crimson-haired beauty as he was planning to ride it with his Binger. Don't joke with me. I don't see any battle pets here and they cannot be kept in storage. Unless you have acquired the beast's highest allegiance by the soul pack's contracting method where you can keep them in your soul sea. The girl said as she didn't believe he would be that lucky. Would you sisters ride with me if I had it? Yu Yan asked with a faint smile as he knew Binger might not agree. Yeah, I would. I will sit between you and Binger so she doesn't refuse like the last night. She responded, still not believing he may have the battle pet in his soul sea. Golden Lion, I call upon you to join me in my adventure. He didn't need to say these flowery words as he could call his pet with a thought. The boy still wanted to let her know it wasn't easy to summon from soul sea. A light glimmered around Yu Yan that traveled away from him as a golden figure materialized a few meters apart from the duo. The beast stood tall, its 2-meter form towering over the landscape. The lion's eyes were a bright, piercing blue, and glimmered with power. The golden fur glimmered in the sun, and its mane was long and flowing, like a river of gold. The creature moved with grace and ease, its large paws landing silently on the ground with each step. The golden lion approached Yu Yan and sat in front of him as if bowing in respect. It became clear that this was not just any ordinary beast and was loyal to the boy. Linger's eyes were amazed and stared in awe at the magnificent golden creature as she saw Yu Yan standing up to step forward. He hovered his hand to caress the lion's head, and spoke, what do you think? It's so majestic. How did you get so lucky to have him? Did you steal it from the royal treasury of the Phoenix family? The girl questioned him as the battle pet was imposing and she didn't think he acquired it in a righteous manner. Nah, the princess herself gifted me this golden lion. Yu Yan said, blaming it on Song Shui as it was easier for her to have such a lavish pet rather than him. You won't stop bragging. The girl shook her head. It's up to you if you want to believe me or not. He shrugged. As they were talking, a white-haired figure walked out of their temporary tent as she was awake from her slumber. She was surprised to see the 2-meter golden beast as it was sitting near her sister and Yu Yan. It's pretty, Binger mumbled, looking at the battle pet of Yu Yan. Wanna ride it with me to the Silver Moon village? The boy asked. Before the white-haired beauty could refuse, Linger said, yeah, let's go. We need to hurry to the village or we would lose. She showed her approval and stood up from her seat to go towards Yu Yan. The boy knew the crimson-haired beauty was taking initiative so Binger wouldn't feel uncomfortable. He played along and kicked the ground beneath his foot, using his Empress Nova spirit to manipulate gravity to hover in the air before landing on the back of Golden Lion. He looked down to see the Shangguan sisters as Linger was struggling to climb up the 2-meter tall beast. With a feeble smile, Yu Yan leaned down, offering his hand to help her up. Here, give me your hand, he spoke as he spread his palm in front of the girl. The girl looked up into his azure eyes as she took his hand which strongly held a grip on her, lifting her up to sit behind him. Linger settled onto the lion's back, her heart beating rapidly with excitement as she could feel the silky soft fur of the golden light. But she needed to bring her sister to the back of the golden lion as the white-haired beauty was contemplating and was in confusion, not expecting Linger to take initiative to ride the battle pet with this boy. Underscore 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 underscore. Please vote with power stones and golden tickets to support this book. Like it. Add to the library.